Hey there, and welcome back to Geeky Bat. Sorry about the weird voice. I am sick today. Alright, today we're going to work on a really fun project that's called a watercolor resist painting. For this, you're going to need something to paint on. This is a thicker cardstock, a pencil if you'd like to sketch out your design, crayons. I have black and white, but basically any color of crayon will do. Darker ones can make the shadows and silhouettes, and lighter ones will be white, be picked out at the end. Super fun. You will need watercolor paint. I'm using some Prang, and I've got a cup of water. So I'm going to do a tree silhouette for mine. I'm going to start by giving myself a little bit of ground to work with, and then I'm going to draw the basic shape of my tree. For this, I'm going to be using something that's called a silhouette, which is a fancy French word for the dark outline of an object. So for a silhouette, you don't need a lot of detail because you're just doing the basic shape all filled in. So there's a super basic tree, which I'm going to make a little fancier as I go. And I'm going to now color everything in that I've drawn dark black with a crayon. When you do a resist painting, the more waxy buildup of crayon you have, the better it will look. So for mine, I'm going to be nice and dark down here. You can go over it several times. It does take a little while to get done. So I'm going to come back to the ground in a minute and work on my tree. I'm going to start by outlining the lines that I drew with my crayon. And you don't really mess up with this. With crayon, it's not forgiving, but you can work with it very easily. So I already went outside the lines and just decided I'm going to make my tree a little thicker. I'm not going to worry about it. So to get me started, I'm going to go over all my lines. And you can see I'm trying to go pretty dark and not leave a lot of white space in between. And the nice thing about crayons is you can keep going back over it to really build up that color. I'm going to flip my paper around so you can see it a little easier so I can work on these big branches. I'm working on getting a neat camera stand that will actually hang down and see what I'm doing instead of having to view it at a funny angle. I'm going to outline this branch too and just do the same thing, coloring it in real nice. You don't have to be super neat with this project because you're just making really dark crayon. Almost there. And I don't have to worry about where it meets my ground because, again, all of that is going to be a nice dark black. So I went outside my line again. I'm just going to make that tree a little thicker. Oh, I broke my crayon. It happens a lot with crayons. There we go. That's looking pretty good. Let's get our ground real quick. Nice thing about crayons is they do tend to cover pretty quick. Just get off my edge there. My hand is already getting tired from this crayon coloring. Crayons can be a little rough on your hands. They do take a little bit of weight behind your hand to really get that dark. So I'm going fast for the video's sake, but I would take your time. Alright, so there's my basic shape. Now I'm going to go back in and start adding new branches so that my tree looks a little less sparse and just kind of lonely. We're going to give him some new branches so that he looks a little bit more lively. This is a great project for the fall and for Halloween. It works really fun with silhouettes of things like jack-o'-lanterns and black cats and dead trees and spooky haunted houses. It's a very fun project for all sorts of stuff. It does great for night skies too. You can do a dark moon, or since we just had a solar eclipse, you can do a solar eclipse. Excuse my snottiness, I am sick again. There we go. That is looking super cool. It is a little bit of a messy project, so make sure you keep some stuff on hand to get clean. Alright, I am going to do like a rainbow sunset, but I would like to have some stars on my sky. So I'm going to take a white crayon and make nice, solid little white dots. When you work with a lighter color, you do want to go over it a couple of times to make sure there's a good buildup of that crayon wax. Otherwise, you probably won't see it when you're done. And you do have to be careful working with white because it will pick up other colors around it, especially dark colors like this black, and just drag it all over the place. And crayons, you can already see my crayons getting a little dirty. They pick up everything when you work with them. So I probably actually should have done this part first. But it's okay. We'll see if it works in the end. And if it doesn't, it will still look really cool. Alright, so I'm now ready for my paint. I'm going to grab my Prang watercolors here. Make sure I remember how to open them properly. There we go. Got a nice new brush and my water. With watercolor, the paint is actually activated by the water. So I'm going to do a sunset. And the most intense color of a sunset is red. So I'm going to begin by getting my red paint nice and watery, bringing my brush in, and just gently sliding my red. Oh, you can see it's not sticking to my stars. Awesome. Down here. And it's not really sticking to my black either. And what is on top of there, you can literally just wipe right off. There we go. You can be messy with watercolor. It's very forgiving. Just use more water to blend. Now I'm going to grab a little bit of orange. I could have started with yellow, but I felt like starting with a little bit of red this time. Alright, let's get some orange and blend that all in together. I'm going to want this really nice and intense. There we go. Alright, I'm going to bring a little bit more red in here on the top, just so I have that kind of sunset effect. And then I can start bringing in some purple. There we go, that's looking really cool. I'm going to bring in just a little bit of yellow to break that up down there. Oh yeah, that's real fiery and intense. Now I'm going to get some purple, but this first layer of purple I want pretty light, so I'm going to use a little bit more water, brush it down into the red so that it blends a little bit better. Oh, that's looking really cool. There we go. Make sure I get my whole horizon all the way across. Now I want to have a little bit more of an intense purple up here because we're going into that darker night sky. Oh, this is looking pretty Halloween. I really like it. There we go. Almost there. Oh, that is so cool. Alright, now I'm going to come in with just a little bit more red to break this up, kind of blend these together more. Oh, that looks awesome. We can do the same by bringing a little bit more orange in here so that our color is different here on the bottom. There we go, I like it. Alright, I'm going to add just a little bit of blue here to the top so that it makes my purple a little bit darker. And you can see I'm just kind of splotching on my color. Gives it a little bit more of a night sky look. Oh, that looks so neat. It gives us a nice dark purple. When it dries, it's going to look super cool. There we go. Now we have a completed watercolor resist painting. When it's all dry, it'll look super cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.